It is 3 in the morning. You are tossing and turning in the dark, bathed in the blue glow of your smartphone. Your mind is racing, entirely consumed by the thought of one specific person. And no matter how hard you try to force yourself to sleep, you cannot look away. We often describe this mental fixation as romantic fate. We write songs and novels celebrating the idea of surrendering our thoughts to another person. But the reality is less poetic. This is a chemical hijacking of your nervous system. This mental loop operates through an ancient, hardwired survival mechanism, running deep within your primal brain. Early human survival was impossible in isolation. Individuals who wandered alone were quickly dissolved from the gene pool by predators or the elements. Our ancestors survived because they formed inseparable attachments to a mate, creating a collective defense. Your inability to stop thinking about a romantic intron executing its most basic directive. It is binding you to another human being to ensure you don't have to survive the world alone. This evolutionary directive is enforced by a specific neurochemical engine, dopamine. Dopamine governs your brain's reward system, acting as the primary driver for motivation and focus. When you fall for someone, even minor interactions trigger massive dopamine releases. A fleeting memory of their laugh, the vibration of a text message, floods your neural pathways with pleasure. These continuous chemical hits compound over time. Your brain begins rewiring its attention center, physically altering its own structure to prioritize the source of that pleasure above your work, your hobbies, and your own well-being. Eventually, your nervous system begins to crave the presence of this person, with the same biological urgency it would have for a narcotic substance. Medical imaging shows identical neural pathways lighting up in a brain addicted to substances versus a brain experiencing romantic obsession. The drive to see them again is a literal, measurable chemical addiction. Once the initial dopamine rush settles, your brain introduces a different chemical to maintain the connection, oxytocin. This hormone is responsible for establishing long-term trust and emotional bonding. This graphic illustrates a free-floating chemical structure, physically morphing into a heavy chain linking two geometric figures together. Oxytocin creates a deep, enduring emotional dependency, designed to keep partners together long enough to raise vulnerable offspring. Your reaction to these bonding chemicals is heavily influenced by your earliest childhood experiences. Your attachment style sets your baseline sensitivity and determines your threshold for these hormones. Individuals with insecure attachment styles often mistake overwhelming, anxious dependency for true passion. Their brains interpret the constant worry about a partner's availability as proof of a deeper connection. This oxytocin-driven neurochemical cement takes a temporary romantic thrill and transforms it into a perceived necessity for your survival. This dependency explains why someone pulling away actually intensifies the craving. Absence doesn't just make the heart grow fonder, it makes the brain more desperate. This illustrates the psychological concept of intermittent reinforcement. When romantic attention becomes unpredictable, your brain locks into an obsessive loop, spinning the reels and searching for a reward that might never come. If a connection is permanently severed, your hormone levels crash. Your brain processes this romantic rejection using the exact same neural pathways it uses to process severe physical pain. Trapped in this withdrawal state, your mind emotionally amplifies your memories. It forces you to recall only the euphoric, positive moments, while actively filtering out the incompatibilities that caused the rift. Heartbreak hurts because your primitive brain misinterprets isolation. It perceives the loss of a romantic bond as an imminent threat to your physical safety. If you are struggling to let go, recognize that your pain is a result of profound neurological withdrawal. You are experiencing a physical reality, not a mental breakdown. The first step to outsmarting your biology is radical acceptance. Acknowledging that your obsession is a chemical process allows you to stop romanticizing your own suffering. You can starve the old obsession loop by redirecting your dopamine engine toward new, unrelated goals. Learning a skill or building a business trains your brain to find rewards through channels you actually control. While we are wired to bond, we can achieve neurochemical autonomy. This is illustrated by two separate sturdy pillars independently supporting a single roof. Healthy love functions when two individuals maintain their own emotional baselines, sharing their lives without the desperate compulsion to use each other as a primary survival tool. Actively breaking this addiction cycle allows you to transition from being a hostage of your biology into a conscious participant in your own life. The immense obsessive energy poured into thinking about someone else demonstrates the sheer scale of your inherent capacity to love. Reclaiming that volume of energy from the biological withdrawal cycle allows you to focus it toward your own self-growth. Have you ever found it impossible to stop thinking about someone? Tell us your story in the comments. Hearing your experience helps others realize they aren't alone in this process. To continue mastering your mind and understanding the science behind human behavior, subscribe to Kinetic Humor. Let's keep decoding the brain together.